disappointments, rejections, injustices, physical pains, and illnesses. All these adversities are inherent to the human condition. It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you make, or what material possessions you have. Inevitably, you will face devastating experiences and encounter difficult emotions throughout life. You will inevitably lose loved ones and also face the reality of death. How do you maintain mental resilience in the face of all this? Although these universal truths often inspire fear and are frequently ignored, denial doesn't make them disappear. Instead, it leaves us helpless and completely vulnerable when confronted with adversity. Stoicism offers an alternative approach. It suggests proactive, anticipatory preparation for these challenging moments. By deliberately training your mind, you cultivate the inner strength necessary to endure even life's harshest difficulties. The collection of writings by Seneca, Letters from a Stoic, is particularly known for offering valuable insights and practical advice on how to cultivate mental strength and resilience. Lucius Annaeus Seneca was a prominent Roman philosopher, statesman, and playwright who lived from 4 BC to 65 AD. He is widely regarded as one of the key figures in the philosophy of Stoicism, which teaches individuals to develop mental resilience, enabling them to face life's challenges with calmness and composure. In this video, we present 6 ways to be mentally resilient, based on the philosophy of Seneca. These insights can help you develop a mindset and the tools necessary to face life's difficulties with courage and strength. Now, before we delve into this incredible knowledge, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and enable notifications so you don't miss any knowledge. After all, it can change your life. 1. Focus on one task at a time. Seneca said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." Seneca's philosophy emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and the value of full attention. Being everywhere refers to the state of continuously diverting the mind, preventing us from fully engaging and experiencing our current circumstances. This fragmented focus leads to a sense of detachment and inhibits genuine connection with the internet. The world no longer has boundaries, and every day we are sucked into the culture of excessive busyness. It is common for people to force their minds to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously, even though this can be perceived as a false boost in efficiency and productivity. Often, this comes at the expense of inner happiness and mental well-being. Society tends to equate engagement in multiple projects with achievement and gratification, but we must not ignore the price it exacts on our mental exhaustion and potentially complete burnout. Seneca, instead, suggests focusing on one task at a time to increase productivity and reduce interruptions. For example, when reading Seneca, he would advise us to dedicate all our attention to the text before us. By immersing ourselves in the words on the page and eliminating distractions, we can extract deeper meaning, gain a better understanding, and savor the greatest pleasure, which is the act of reading itself. This focused approach allows us to fully engage with the material, expand our knowledge, and enhance our intellectual capabilities. Similarly, in our daily lives, Seneca would encourage us to concentrate on the task at hand, whether it's work, studying, or a conversation. Engage with the material, broaden your knowledge, and enhance your intellectual abilities. By dedicating your full attention to each task, you can achieve greater quality, productivity, and fulfillment. This intentional focus enables us to avoid the pitfalls of multitasking and scattered attention, allowing for significant progress and excellence in our activities. Seneca placed great importance on time management. He believed that time is a precious resource and that how we use it determines the quality of our existence. Therefore, focusing on one task at a time is essential for effective time management. Seneca recognized that attempting to juggle multiple tasks simultaneously leads to inefficiency and lack of productivity. Imagine you have 1 hour to tidy up your house before heading to an appointment. And as you start your tasks, you stop to respond to some text messages, remember an important work email you urgently need to send, and have 2 phone calls to make, all while needing to feed your dog. The timer on your phone goes off, and your hour is up. You have 4 tasks started and none completed. You need to leave to avoid being late for your appointment. When we allow ourselves to be pulled in multiple directions, our ability to be fully present becomes compromised. Thus, Seneca encourages us to organize our minds and dedicate our attention to the task at hand. By doing so, you improve your mental health as you conserve energy, which in turn increases your productivity. As a result, you make better use of your time while strengthening your mind against distractions. By practicing this principle, you develop greater focus and a deeper connection with the present moment. 2. Control your impulses. In the words of Seneca, philosophy teaches us to act, not just to speak. It demands that each person lives in accordance with their own standards, that their life is not in discord with their words, and furthermore, that their inner life should have the same tone and not be in discord with all their activities. Seneca discouraged excessive indulgence in impulsive desires, as he considered them potential traps for moral weakness. He believed that submitting to uncontrolled impulses could lead to harmful behaviors, unethical actions, and the loss of self-control over all impulses. Seneca regarded anger as the most destructive and detrimental to our well-being. He believed that anger arises from our inability to control or accept certain situations or events. Seneca believed that anger was a temporary madness that affects our sanity, and acting based on anger can have a prolonged effect not only on people, but also on the environment around them. Destructive and irreversible actions, driven by anger, can sometimes lead to permanent damage. For example, imagine that you have been working tirelessly on a line of high-quality products, but your boss rejects all items for reasons you consider pure personal intrigue. This leaves you extremely angry, leading to an argument between the two of you. While you might think that your emotion of anger is entirely justified, the action taken can result in some unhappy consequences. Once you make a decision and act on it while being driven by anger, you cannot undo it afterward. Furthermore, we often carry anger or frustration from one area of our life to others, exacerbating this negative impact. Imagine coming home after such a difficult day at work, and your spouse argues with you for forgetting the wet towel on the bed without realizing it. You may vent your anger and frustration from a tough day on her. It's a common thing and can turn into an endless argument. We have the power to change our mindset and choose healthier approaches to managing intense emotions. Seneca, in his book, Letters from a Stoic, emphasizes the transformative effects of learning philosophy. He highlights that philosophy invites us to embrace a simpler way of living in harmony with reason and nature. He provides practical methods for navigating life with a calm and serene state of mind. Seneca teaches that philosophy can help us cultivate self-control and develop introspection. By practicing self-control, we increase our ability to avoid irrational behaviors. Simultaneously, by engaging in introspection, we carefully examine the value of our impulses. allowing us to make conscious choices rather than being driven solely by the impulse of anger. An interesting anecdote involving Seneca and the Emperor Nero illustrates the correlation between philosophy and its beneficial effect on impulse regulation. According to the story, Nero once became furious with a servant who spilled food on him in a fit of anger. Nero ordered the servant to be severely punished. Upon witnessing this outburst, Seneca intervened and seized the opportunity to impart a valuable lesson. He urged Nero to reflect on his actions and consider whether his response was in line with the teachings of philosophy. Seneca reminded Nero of the Stoic principle of self-control and advised him to temper his emotions and exercise moderation in wielding power. This incident clearly indicates Seneca's ability to use real-life situations to teach philosophy, concepts, and guide his student toward a more virtuous path. From this, we understand the profound importance of philosophy in freeing ourselves from the shackles of anger and unrestrained emotions. By embracing Stoicism, we gain the necessary tools to lead a more virtuous and fulfilled life. The challenge is to avoid the trap of reaction and lucidly opt for the clarity of action. If someone approaches us rudely and we respond with kindness, patience, and calmness, it's the action of our understanding towards the other. Perhaps it would be easier, out of habit, to behave reciprocally, returning the rudeness we received. However, the great challenge is to stop reacting, choosing the action that will always yield better results, as it is the result of balance and reflection. The transformation of our behavior will happen gradually and will be the result of discipline and thinking. 3. Be prepared. Quoting Seneca and essays in your mind: exile, torture, war, shipwreck. All the terms of our human fate should be before our eyes. Seneca often discussed the concept that everything in life is borrowed, including our possessions, relationships, and even our physical bodies. Recognizing this truth allows us to reduce our attachment to external things and focus more on the present moment. For example, let's imagine a scenario where you own a beautiful house that holds great significance for you. Meditating on the fact that this house is borrowed and could potentially be lost or destroyed, you can detach from material possessions and find contentment in the present, instead of constantly striving for more or worrying about the potential loss of what you have. This practice of negative visualization that Seneca emphasized helps cultivate mental strength and resilience. Negative visualization involves deliberately contemplating and imagining the worst-case scenarios, or imagining the loss of something important to us. By engaging in this exercise, not only do we promote gratitude for our current possessions, but we also mentally and emotionally prepare ourselves for life's adversities. Consider, for example, your car to engage in negative visualization. Take a moment to imagine the possibility of losing or parting with it. Visualize scenarios in which you sold it, it gets stolen, or you must voluntarily donate it. By vividly imagining these situations, allow yourself to experience the associated emotions and reflect on a life without that possession. Moreover, negative visualization can be applied to various aspects of life, including relationships, health, professional success, and so on. For instance, you can contemplate the potential strain in a cherished relationship, the challenges of dealing with a health issue, or the setbacks and failures you may encounter in your career. By dedicating 5 to 10 minutes each morning to reflect on these worst-case scenarios, you can incorporate this practice into your routine. You can also use negative visualization to confront your own mortality. Seneca believed that by imagining our own death, we gain a powerful perspective on the fleeting nature of life. This practice reminds us that our time is limited and encourages us to live with purpose and mindfulness. When we imagine our own mortality, we recognize the brevity and fragility of our existence. It helps us shift our focus from trivial matters and petty concerns, redirecting our attention to what truly matters. By contemplating our mortality, we develop a sense of urgency to pursue our passions, nurture our relationships, and contribute to the world. It encourages us to value experiences over material possessions and fosters gratitude for the present moment. We learn to value people and opportunities in our lives and face challenges with resilience and determination. Engaging in the mental exercise of negative visualization and proactively preparing for challenging situations not only fosters gratitude for what you have, but also allows you to take proactive measures to prevent them from happening, prepares you to deal with them effectively should they arise. This practice promotes a mindset of preparedness and adaptability, reinforcing your confidence and stance in the face of life's uncertainties. 4. Embrace difficulties voluntarily. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, just as labor does the body." Despite his immense wealth in the Roman Empire, Seneca intentionally adopted a lifestyle reminiscent of poverty. He set aside a few days each month to wear simple clothing and consume the bare minimum of food. This practice was not driven by financial necessity, but rather to temper his desire for material goods and fleeting pleasures. Seneca sought to deepen his appreciation for what he already possessed, and more significantly, to develop the courage necessary to face future challenges. This Stoic technique, known as voluntary suffering, involves intentionally seeking and embracing challenges that push us beyond our comfort zones. It is a powerful method for strengthening the mind. Seneca likened it to physical labor that strengthens the body, just as physical effort challenges and strengthens our muscles. Voluntarily embracing difficulties and suffering provides mental training. By embracing challenges and willingly confronting discomfort, we promote resilience, discipline, and gratitude, developing a mindset that thrives in the face of life's adversities. To illustrate how voluntary difficulties can be practiced, consider an individual who is afraid of public speaking, a common source of anxiety. Instead of avoiding situations that involve public speaking, this person decides to confront their fear through voluntary difficulties. They actively seek opportunities to speak in public, such as joining a local group or volunteering to give presentations at work. Initially, the idea of public speaking may provoke discomfort and apprehension. However, by voluntarily subjecting themselves to this challenge, they begin to build strength and courage with each speech they deliver. They push the boundaries of their comfort zone, learn to manage anxiety, improve their communication skills, and build resilience in the face of potential setbacks. Through this practice, by voluntarily embracing the difficulties of public speaking, you diminish the grip of fear and expand your ability to handle future challenges. It's important to note that voluntary difficulties can be practiced even in the absence of specific fears. For example, you can go outside without a coat in winter, turn off the air conditioning at home or in the car, take cold showers, occasionally fast, or sleep without a pillow. The key is to actively choose discomfort and challenges that expand our limits. It's a test of our resilience. By deliberately opting to confront challenges and discomfort, we engage in mental training that builds resilience, discipline, and gratitude for the abundance we possess. By actively practicing voluntary difficulties, we prepare our minds and bodies for unforeseen and challenging situations. realizing that many things we once feared are not as daunting as they seemed. 5. Avoid self-victimization. According to Seneca, man is not affected by events but by his view of them. Seneca emphasized the importance of the dichotomy of control and the concept of amor fati to avoid falling into a victim mentality. The dichotomy of control refers to the distinction between things that are under our control and those that are not. Seneca believed that while external events and circumstances are beyond our control, we have the power to control our own thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. This distinction allows us to focus our energy and attention on what is truly within our control. Amor fati, which means love of fate, is a Stoic mindset that encourages individuals to embrace and accept every moment of their lives, regardless of how challenging or difficult it may be. Instead of trying to escape or resist these circumstances, amor fati encourages loving and appreciating them, recognizing that they offer opportunities for growth, learning, and personal development. In today's world, it's very easy to adopt a self-victimized mentality without taking responsibility for anything or any of your outcomes. Attributing negative meanings to people's responses or inconvenient situations can sink us into a quicksand of self-pity, especially in the current era, where social media platforms exert significant influence. Many unwittingly become victims of believing everything they see, especially the widely publicized false happiness and success. You may have seen perfect relationships portrayed on the internet that ended in divorce. Similarly, investors or so-called highly successful entrepreneurs who rented cars and houses solely for the purpose of selling courses. By confusing social media with reality, we risk comparing ourselves to these forged representations that can foster doubt and a sense of victimization. To illustrate Seneca's teachings, consider an example. Imagine you worked diligently and aspired to a promotion in your company. However, when the time comes, someone else is promoted instead of you. Initially, you may experience a sense of betrayal or injustice, blaming your superiors for this decision. This initial reaction stems from a victim mentality, where you see yourself as a passive recipient of circumstances beyond your control. However, Seneca would advise against dwelling on these negative emotions and instead encourage applying the principles of the dichotomy of control and amor fati. By understanding that your superior's decision is beyond your control, you can redirect your focus to what you can control, your thoughts, attitudes, and actions, rather than adopting a victim stance. You can choose to adopt a more rational and empowered posture. By embracing amor fati, you can view your colleague's promotion as an opportunity for self-reflection and personal growth. It presents an opportunity to reassess your skills, seek feedback, and develop new strategies for your future advancement. Instead of harboring resentment or blaming others, you can accept the situation as it is and learn from it, redirecting your efforts toward personal improvement through the application of the dichotomy of control and acceptance of amor fati. Seneca believed that we can escape the role of victims in the face of external circumstances. We can change our mindset from passivity and self-pity to empowerment and resilience. Seneca's teachings serve as a reminder that our internal responses and attitudes are within our control, and by accepting and valuing every aspect of our destiny, we can discover strength and meaning even when faced with challenges. 6. Spend time in solitude. In our final quote from Seneca for this video, he says, "Withdraw to yourself as much as possible." Seneca emphasizes the importance of spending some time in solitude as a way to strengthen oneself mentally. Seneca believed that by distancing themselves from external distractions, and immersing themselves in solitude. Individuals can engage in introspection, self-reflection, and personal growth. It is in solitude that we have the opportunity to confront our thoughts, emotions, and inner struggles, promoting self-awareness and clarity. We have a video on the power of silence, where we delve even deeper into the benefits of staying quiet. I'll leave it in the first pinned comment for you to practice solitude. It's possible to regularly set aside dedicated time for yourself. This can mean engaging in activities that promote introspection and self-reflection, such as keeping a journal, meditating, or simply taking long walks in nature. By intentionally disconnecting from the noise and demands of the external world, individuals can create a space for deep thinking, self-discovery, and self-improvement. For example, imagine a busy professional who spends most of their time in a hectic work environment, constantly surrounded by people and juggling various tasks. By consciously setting aside specific periods of solitude, such as evenings, this individual can create a quiet space for self-reflection. During this time, they can reflect on their values, goals, and areas of personal development. They can use this solitude to gain clarity on their priorities, assess their emotions and thoughts, and contemplate their actions and decisions through regular practice. They cultivate mental strength, resilience, and a deeper understanding of themselves. Seneca believed that spending time in solitude allows individuals to recharge their minds, gain valuable insights, and cultivate inner strength. It provides an opportunity for self-examination and personal growth, leading to a more fulfilling life. One valuable activity you can engage in during moments of solitude to strengthen your mindset is continuous learning and expanding your intellectual knowledge or skills. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if this content was rewarding for your life. I'll leave 2 videos here that you might be interested in watching too. See you soon.